pieces get layered in glue, glued together, and they shape it into the different portions of our aircraft.
Wow. So all the work's being done right here?
Yes,
like,
sir.
it's just going to be built in this space?
Yep, so this hangar's been reconfigured many times to fit the different needs. So we have actually tons of pictures along the back there if you guys want to look after of the different ways that we've set up our tables. We used to have a giant table along this wall for fiberglass and pieces and fiberglass and that. And yeah, we just keep making changes as we need it to fit the needs of the crew. So this Arrow, the basic design, does follow exactly to the design of the original AVRO Arrow itself. So the shape of the aircraft, the way that the wings and the tail are incorporated, the landing gear, the engines, it's all going to be really similar. There's a bit of the technicals that are slightly different because we've had to modify for the size of the aircraft and our engines, but overall the design is the same. So one of the biggest design features of the AVRO Arrow was that they actually took away the wings and the tail. There's no wings and tail. What you see here is just a continuation of the fuselage in technical terms. So the wing and the vertical stabilizer is a part of the fuselage, not a separate piece, and it's just a continuation. That reduces drag and allows for supersonic speeds. So we can fly, this aircraft technically can fly faster than the speed of sound. However, we cannot actually fly faster than the speed of sound because of our limitations. The leading edge of the wing would actually heat up and burn away. Because we're going so fast. In the original AVRO Arrow, it was liquid cooled, so they actually ran liquid through the wing and then cooled it that way. But we don't have that within our parameters here, so unfortunately we have to flow regular plane speeds.
Right.
So our landing gear there, we took off of a Learjet, which is basically, the private jets you see in movies. That's what it looks like. We are going to repurpose the landing gear for this aircraft. Of course, there's a few modifications that we have to make to the wing for it to fit, but overall, it's going to be a pretty solid fit to our aircraft.
Wow. Very cool.
Another interesting piece is the actual control surfaces of this aircraft. So with a regular aircraft, if you look at the jet liner above you, there are ailerons on the wings. Those flappy parts that come down, those are the ailerons. And then in the back, on the horizontal stabilizer, the flappy parts that come up and down, those are the elevators. In this aircraft, we actually have to combine those two control surfaces into one control surface on each side of the wing here, and that is what is called an elevon. It's an elevon, and those will operate either opposed to each other or with each other to create the motion of the aircraft to control it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is all carbon fiber. So you remember that black cloth that you touched? We made it into this. We made it tough and hard with epoxy and glue, and now it's super, super strong. Yeah, so you can actually see the fibers. You can see it.
Where do you get the carbon fiber from?
Oh, you'll have to ask more.
No, that's okay.
I don't know where they ordered it from. I think they honestly just probably ordered it online.
It's available,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive. I know that much.
Wow.
Yeah, just watch out for sharp edges.
Yeah, careful with
the
that.
edges get a little sharp.
I can cut you, buddy.
So these are the General Electric CJ610-6 engines, which is just basically fancy letters and words to let you know that this is a turbojet engine, so it doesn't have any propellers. And this turbojet engine can put out 3,100 pounds of force. Sorry, 3,100 pounds of force each. So our aircraft overall will produce 6,200 pounds of force that'll push this aircraft forward, which is quite a lot. Much more than any car that you might own.
Right, and so these are examples. These aren't the real ones you're gonna use, or?
No. So these were donated to us. They're kind of our dummy engines, so we can look at them, see how all the fluid
The sizing
lines.
and everything.
Yeah, and then our real engines we took off of the Learjet.
Oh, okay.
And they're for the way in these boxes. We did like a pickling, is what they call it in industry. So they're stored in fluid to keep them from getting damaged.
Nice.
Yeah, so those will be the real engines that we use. These ones are just for our boys to wrap our heads around how they're going to work. This is actually down the exact center of the aircraft. This line runs up and through this vertical stabilizer down the center of the aircraft. And it's our datum line. And a datum line is where you take all of your measurements from to make sure they're accurate. Make sure you don't pull on it too
Careful.
hard. But it is pointy.
That's where the engines are gonna go, Bennett.
Yep, so all of the intake airflow comes through the front, and it'll come out back through these tubes into the front of the engine here, and then it'll go through the burn chambers of the engine and produce thrust out of the rear of the engine, which will also come out of the rear.
What's the schedule for flight?
They're hoping to have it completed by 2024, so 3 years from now. Technically, as the aircraft sits, there's actually not a lot left to complete. Pretty much all of the bodywork and the actual airframe is complete. We're working on this piece along the top of the aircraft. So if you see in the models up there, there's kind of that rounded bump that runs from the cockpit back to the vertical stabilizer. We have to create that as well. It's where our hydraulics go, our fluid lines go. It's where the controls for the rudder and the elevons is going to live. So we're manufacturing that right now. That's why the wing skins are on right now. Usually they're actually off, so you can see the insides. But they're on at the moment, so we can manufacture that. Once that's done, we're actually going to start putting in fluid lines for the fuel tanks. So it'll be actually the first hardware that gets put into this aircraft is going to be those fluid lines. So it's actually quite a big step.
Yeah, I bet.
Just doesn't look like much from the point of view, just standing outside of it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, totally.
So over here is our fiberglass station. So this is where they're putting together fiberglass pieces and military shaping over here.
And that will quiet down.
So those
Now the chemical
wood
does you know how to
pieces
get the
there
military good. Oh, I see.
are very engineered to be the exact diameters we need and all that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the different ways that we've changed up the hangar and to build all these pieces.
And what's your piece in this? Are you part of the group, or you're volunteering?
I actually did a lot of work with the vertical stabilizer. I'd say probably about 50% of the work that went into it. Doing the fiberglassing, making sure that the foam inserts fit properly, because the foam inserts were all one piece, and we had to cut them to fit them in between the carbon fiber spars.
Oh, wow.
So I did a lot of that. With COVID, unfortunately, a lot of us couldn't make it as much, and I was working full time, so it slowed down over the past year. But
so this is a volunteer thing for you? You're just...
Yeah, everyone here is actually volunteers. So
project.
The entire project is fully volunteer driven. And of course we have people come and go, but a lot of engineers stayed with us throughout, have helped us get the specs together and all that. So yeah, it's an amateur built aircraft.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. This gentleman here, Mark Zurakowski, he's the son of actually one of the original pilots that flew the original AVRO Arrow. One of the only pilots to actually ever fly the Arrow, other than Flight Lieutenant Jack Woodman. They were flying one of the most advanced aircraft ever of that time. It was a totally amazing step for them to take.
What a story.
Oh yeah, tons of history there. If you guys are not interested in history, though, I don't want to bore you too much with it, but... Yeah, so they did. Deacon Baker was the Prime Minister at the time. When he canceled the program, he had them destroy
And basically that gives access to the fuel system.
They destroyed them all, stuff. And they also destroyed all of the paperwork and artifacts and stuff that went with it. So we actually have posters and all that up at the front. What I like to tell people is that those posters, it was actually illegal to have them for the longest time because it was illegal, classified military documentation. So you guys gotta make sure you take one of those when you go.
Okay.
Have little booklets on the
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. On your nose.
Yeah.
Did somebody donate the hangar for your use, or is this somebody own it?
So Paul is he's our president. He actually has a couple of hangars at the Springbank Airport, so I believe we rent this one out.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the for the tour.
There's also some stuff upstairs too. So upstairs we made up like a little drawing board office of what we believe one of the original engineers would use to do their work on the Arrow. And you can also go up there and do some good shots too for your camera.
Thank you.
Okay, well, go do that now. Thank you. Thanks. All right, follow Bennett. We're gonna go upstairs and have a look.
If you need help with a metal piece, let me know.
Yeah.
We're radiant strings. It looks like he's landing runway 36 or something. Yeah. 34, 33. 34, 33. No, I was just guessing. Oh, there goes that. Well, we get this thing finished. You'll be able to see it. There you go. Nice.
Want to check out here?
Tire ball. You blew a tire.
We have a copy.
Nice hangar, eh?
So they're actually doing this?
Yeah, they're gonna fly this thing. Apparently.